Probably could hear that. Yeah, you could. Okay, I see. This is comfy. This is the comfiest we've had it.
Like, I've never understood the concept of a Sunday car. Like, I have a car.
I think
I drive it Monday through Sunday.
I don't know. I've always liked Porsche. They look great, and
If
they've
I
been making them forever.
I don't know. If I wanted to get a souped up Beetle, I'd just get one.
You're a cunt.
Yeah.
How about you just buy a car, maintain it, and that's it? They're like the crumple zone. What is that?
Yeah.
I think you are the crumple zone.
Yeah,
Like,
the crumple zone is from the
Are your
wheel to the
legs.
back seat. Yeah.
yeah, from the wheel through your head.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks.
It's the same summer he made me pay rent.
Hey, I feel like, besides the fact that you feel not very wanted or loved when that happens, I think that's still pretty good for most kids.
I remember in high school, I was able to memorize the entire D&D 5th edition handbook.
Excuse me?
I could recite it from memory.
How many fucking pages is that?
I have it upstairs. It's like 250 pages.
Fuck that. You're retarded.
But same thing as your brother. I would just fail math classes.
Why? See, I don't know. I guess I was just for me, it was really just like, I just like listen to this bitch for like maybe 50% of it. And I'd be like, I'd look at the fucking problem and go, why did she do that? That's okay.
I just couldn't.
And then I would just do the homework and I'd be good.
Like you asked me, like, what's the you'd ask me any theorem, like, I don't know. But if you told me, hey, how far
The Pythagorean theorem, bro.
did I fuck that one up?
You can fucking recite me the Pythagorean theorem.
Is that a squared thing?
Yes. Finish it. What is it?
Plus b squared
Equals
c squared.
Oh, crazy, bro. Man, these theorems I'm never going to remember using my life.
Why are you doing this to me?
Because
It's an example, and it's the first one I came up with.
The one that everybody uses is the quadratic formula. And it's like, oh, you mean one of the most basic formulas that is required for you to understand the fucking universe, retard? Quit complaining that you stand on the shoulders of mathematical giants. It makes me so mad when people are like, math is fucking retarded. You see your phone? Happened because of math. You see this fucking building? Math. The fact that you're wearing clothes right now? Math. The reason you aren't getting fucking eaten by wild cats is because of math. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Cinnamon Chili. We are
A podcast that no one's listening to.
Yeah, agreed.
Except my buddy. my one friend. Yeah.
Yes, a recent listener, somebody that we know, friends and family. Does that count? I really don't think it does.
No, but my favorite part of that was I was talking to him, and he brought up something, and I was like, nah. And he's like, you missed this 8th grade humor. And I was like, nah, man, I'm super pretentious now. And he was like, yeah, I could tell you were doing all those. You're being pretty intellectual on this podcast. And I was like, yeah, I'm super fucking smart.
Yeah,
and he
bro.
was like, hey.
Turns out I'm a genius.
He's like, hey, do you want me to tell your co-star what your ACT scores were? And I was like,
I think you already told me.
Please don't do that.
Didn't you say it was like a 19?
First time I took it was a 19.
Yeah.
Second time was a 21. It got me to every school I applied to.
It's pretty good improvement.
And then
2 points is hard.
yeah, well, I didn't want it.
I don't like. See, when people tell me that and then they're like, "What's your ACT score?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. No, I won't tell you."
It's pointless.
Well, no, it makes me feel bad because the ACT isn't pointless. It's a type of aptitude test. Like the whole point is to see how smart you are legitimately, but it's not just it's how fast can your brain process these things, but also how hard are you willing to work? Because all it takes is practice to understand the system more.
There was no prep when I.
Yeah, to get a better score. But if you're smarter, it's obviously easier to just jump in and get a better score.
It's the fact that I got a 21 and I got into UNK, UNO, and UNL. I was like, okay. Like, I don't, like, okay. That's why when people are busting out, they're like 36, and I was like, that's a scholarship. I'm happy for you, but like.
Yeah, I got a 31, and
That's not bad.
I got full tuition to UNO, and then I could have got full tuition to UNL, but I did not want to go to UNL.
Why not?
Because
you have a full scholarship.
Full tuition.
Oh.
Which means you pay to live on campus. You pay for your books. You pay for the required meal plan.
Gotcha.
Yeah, fuck all that shit.
Gotcha.
Meanwhile, if I get full tuition here and I drive to school, that means I got to pay for books. And what I didn't know at the time was retarded fees that end up still being like $3,000 a year. It's fucking ridiculous. College is a scam.
I had to talk my dad into buying my meal plan first year.
Really?
I was like, "Hey,
at least he paid for something, bro. My parents just paid for me to live at their house."
Well, I asked him. I was like, "Hey, can you pay for my meal plan?" He was like, "No, this is your choice." And I was like, "Motherfucker,
hey,
are you at least
fair
have
enough,
me
actually.
At least have me give me the ability to eat. I can handle the rest." And then
I think it's a
didn't
little
have that
worse when he has
conversation
to pay it in a lump sum. You know, when he pays for your ability to eat every 2 weeks,
I think
and
it was
when he's getting food at Walmart, it's a little easier.
I think it was like $250 a semester, which was the lowest fucking fee I could think
that's
of.
pretty.
Yeah,
That's pretty low actually.
and it was, yeah, it was.
It's amazing how much they fucking scalp people though. It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like
When $250 is the lowest fee I can think of,
Bro.
that's insane.
living on campus.
It was like $600 for a parking pass.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Plus, like, they're apartment style dorms now. That's pretty much what they all are.
Yeah,
and
they're
you
nice.
you usually have 3 roommates, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Each person is paying what is it, like $800 a month technically, and that's for Wi-Fi, utilities, and rent.
Mm-hmm.
4 fucking people in one apartment.
Mm-hmm.
That is overkill. They are overcharging everybody there. You get the fuck out of my face with that. If there are 4 people even paying for all of those things, that's coming out to maybe $350, $400 each
We have a house and we're paying $275 each.
for the rent, and then if you add utilities, it's
Oh,
probably
it's like
coming out to be like,
$300? Maybe?
$330, $350.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
We have 3 fucking floors and we're paying $350 each.
getting charged 3 times as much, not 3 times, 2.5, 2.25 times as much is fucking ridiculous. It's absurd.
Yeah. College was a lot of fun, but it was a very dumb decision to make.
Well, I don't know. I think it's difficult to say don't do college just because, like,
Oh yeah, I won't say that blanketly, but
if you have the opportunity and you know what you really, really want to do, I'd say go for it. And living on campus, you really do get a different experience. But
I think even if you don't know what you want to do, go. But you have to understand, and this is any decision you ever make, you need to come to terms with the consequences of that action.
yeah,
I knew going in my first year, I'm going to walk out just in the red in life.
yeah.
So if you can come to terms with that and be okay coming out the other side, fucking go for it. It's a good time. You'll learn a lot about yourself, how you handle stress, and like just
I say if you legitimately don't know what you want to do, I'd say go to the closest community college, get your fucking associates in general education. That'll set you ahead of fucking 70% of America. If you do know what you want to do and it requires college, go for that.
Yeah.
If you know what you want to do and college would be okay, it would help, maybe don't fucking do it, bro. If you want to be a programmer, don't go to college. Piece of shit, dude.
technical college.
Find a
just go.
way to build a portfolio. Not even, bro. So many people I knew didn't go to college and they ended up working at great companies because they just knew how to build web apps and they knew how to program. That's all you fucking need.
I guess I am. Yeah, I guess nowadays, yeah. And we've said it before. If you don't know how to do something, just look it up.
Exactly.
You could do that.
You have the number one learning tool in your fucking pocket, pretty much everybody. And it's like, yeah, pay $100 a month for Skillshare, one of the best fucking learning tools ever created on the internet.
That's what I used to learn editing. That's how you learned to
Yeah,
do
bro,
editing.
it's fucking amazing. It's fantastic. It's better teaching than what you get in college. It's monumentally it's monumentally cheaper, and you're being forced to do it yourself.
It's at your pace.
Yes, you're getting
that's the best part.
And it's also teaching you work ethic. There's no way to get better. They're not going to be like, you haven't showed up the last 4 days, so you're getting marked off points, and there's like, negative factors. No, if you want to go fucking eat chips and watch fucking Dill Hole, what the fuck is his name? Oh, that retard who he got the spiky hair and he fucking reviews food.
Oh.
Watch Planet Sheen while eating some Doritos. You can, but you shouldn't. And that's
spiky-haired guy that reviews food.
He's fucking and his white hair.
Guy
drivers,
Fieri?
yeah, drivers dining and dives or whatever the fuck ever.
Oh, there's a
I really could not get his name, bro. I could not figure that shit out.
I thought you were talking about YouTube, so my brain was just on that.
Bro, okay, so now that this is a live podcast, one of the issues with camera companies is that if you have a nice camera and it can record pretty well, it's made for pictures, albeit, it'll only record for 30 minutes, which means I have a timer set, I believe, off camera, and
248.
every 30 minutes we will have a transition that should be a little bit seamless. I'll try to make it that.
We might
I'm
cut this, but what if we just put the bit there?
What bit?
Just whatever bit we have.
Dude, let's have like a
An intermission?
mid-roll advertisement. Yeah, an intermission of just like the
We're
bit.
cutting this. This is good.
Or maybe I'll just leave it. So now you'll understand our
Yeah,
process.
okay, cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna get up.
Using negatives as creative energy.
I'm gonna get up. We're gonna talk about something on YouTube, and then. But here's a word from our sponsor. This podcast was brought to you by the highly coveted Shane's Vape #2. Now with the latest and greatest in T-Priv technology, with a sleek metallic design and a royal blue finish, an extended bowl to hold extra juice, and a long-lasting rubber band to keep all your batteries safe. Because the latch that normally does this job broke. Call now and get your Shane's Vape #2, and remember, keep your head in the clouds. Now back to the podcast. All right. I hope everybody enjoyed that word from our sponsor. If anybody does want that vape, I don't know if he'll let you have it. I'm sure. I'm sure for a high enough price.
I use it like an inhaler, so I don't think so.
I don't think people use inhalers all day, Shane, actually. I think you're actually way off.
Do they just use it once? Is it like a one-time kind of thing?
I think if you're dying, you use an inhaler, or if you're extremely out of breath.
I don't know. I think you should use it constantly.
Maybe, what if you get high using an inhaler? It is pure oxygen, right?
I thought it was like an aerosol steroid.
Is it?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm not fucking weak.
I don't know.
I'm not a part of the chaff. I'm not a fucker who runs a mile and then fucking.
All right. So I guess this podcast is anti-asthma. That's interesting. I wish you would have talked about that earlier.
Yeah, you fucking
like they saw a bit, but there was like no shit. 2 hours. Like you took a shower, I worked out. Like in between there, you could have told me like, hey, by the way,
some fucking
we're taking
weaklings.
A stance. Fuck people who can't breathe well.
They can breathe just fine. It's just when they work out or something they can't. Pussies. No, I'm not gonna say that. That's fucking terrible.
Pussy dine-ins and drives.
That'd be a better show. Actually, his show is pretty good. You ever watch it?
Yeah, the food looks gross.
Really?
Yeah.
In diners, drive-ins, and dives?
Yeah.
I actually thought the food. I am a fat fucking pig though, he's definitely. Hey, catering. You fat fucking pigs. Isn't this shit look good? He's pouring nacho cheese all over meat and carbs, and you're like,
You described the Food Network's audience. Oh, you put chili in a turkey.
Would you? I don't think anybody would put chili in a turkey.
I wouldn't.
That sounds terrible.
That sounds bad.
Okay. What were you gonna say? I know what I was gonna say. So you brought up YouTube. Something you and I had talked about in private, it happened, and I'm very sad. Remember when I told you about the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight?
Uh-huh.
Jake Paul won.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
No, he shouldn't have.
Ben Askren got knocked out in a minute 40.
Uh-huh.
The thing is, though, he wasn't knocked out cold. He was rocked, and then he goes to the ground. But instead of it being like a normal boxing match where he like counts it down,
did they just TKO him immediately?
Kind of. He's on the ground, and then he gets up, and he looks cool, and then the referee obviously comes over, and he's standing, and he's a little wobbly, but he hasn't reached the count. He's not even counting, and then the referee just goes and calls it. I was like, I thought we were boxing. Why the fuck do you call this like an MMA fight? What the fuck?
That is weird.
It was super strange, so that had me suspicious, but
a lot of people are talking about dives, but I don't see that happening.
I mean, whatever. He still won. Like, Ben Askren obviously underestimated him, but I mean, like, he was not a striker.
I was watching DeFranco. He was covering the fight, and they were talking about how, like, well, back in his heyday, he would take shots after shots, and then he brings up the point of, like, Yeah, sometimes when you take shots after shots after shots, there's some damage that comes with
Well,
that.
I don't know. It's
You can just lose your chin that way.
it really almost is just like a phenomenon of, dude, people have iron chins, and it takes maybe once or twice for it to get busted, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone. Like I don't know if he was really ever rocked. Maybe a couple times in the UFC, and he was never knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Knocked out once by Jorge Masvidal, and then fucking retired because he's old as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he fucking got rocked by Jake Paul throwing a decent fucking hook. And I was like,
It's like it
What
was probably
happened?
the only decent shot he took because from
Well,
what I've
I don't
seen,
know.
it was nothing but haymakers from that guy.
no, I don't know.
Did he have some pretty
Well,
controlled shots?
he definitely throws hard, but I don't know. He's been practicing training boxing for 3 years nonstop. If you're gonna train for 3 years nonstop and be shit,
Yeah,
that'd
I
be
guess you're right,
impressive.
yeah.
He's decent. Like he could fight amateurs and shit like that. But the best part that came out of this, that I'm hoping happens, is a bunch of MMA fighters. Because obviously, he's like shit talking the MMA now.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what the fuck happens? Everybody's like, you beat the worst striker
Mm-hmm.
out of everyone. Like
Mhm. Nothing against Ben,
no, yeah.
Incredible fighter.
What Ben Askren
but
said.
he is a bad striker.
What he said was the fucking god honest truth. If him and Jake Paul met in a dark alley, he said, I could do a homicide on you if I wanted to.
I could choke you out. In
That is the
moments.
fucking truth.
Yeah.
His boxing ain't gonna do shit for him when he gets double legged and his head hits the concrete and then he's catching elbows to the throat and shit. Like, nah,
It was just in a rear naked before his eyes.
yeah,
closed.
exactly, bro. It's fucking, it'd be over. Like, it's so fast. But, dude, he was talking shit to Tyron Woodley. He's talking shit to these guys who are like, mean strikers. And I'm like, dude, you're going to go on this nice little streak of fights where you make good money. Because apparently Ben Askren was saying he made better money off of that fight than he did in any UFC bout.
I don't doubt it.
Just fucking crazy.
Because I think Jake Paul said it was like 1.5 million pay-per-view buys, about 75 million.
It's fucking crazy.
that fight.
I mean, I guess it is like a smaller type. Like UFC's got a lot of hands in the cookie jar. You know what I mean?
Advertisements, all that
Yeah,
shit.
but shit, man. Plus,
Just for
Dana
just
White
for-
being one of the fucking richest men.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I'm hoping the next person he chooses to fight, I don't know. I feel like his team is definitely gonna try to keep it like, yeah, we're gonna find big names, but we're gonna be sure they're all like not
It's
real fighters.
it's Rocky too. They gave him bumps. Or in the boxing world, they're going to try to give him people with weak chins and not great striking.
See, the thing is
Once again, nothing against Ben. Please don't.
I
kill him.
actually thought they fucked up because I was like, oh, they probably think he has a weak chin because of the fight with Masvidal. I was like, if you win, it's going to be by decision, bro. Like, he's one of the fucking toughest guys ever. And then he got knocked out. Well, I don't know.
wonder-
He wasn't knocked out. He got
I wonder.
TKO'd.
I wonder if motivation played a part in it. Like he took that hit and he was like, "I'm fighting Jake fucking Paul. Do I really want to
don't know.
stand?"
Apparently, he didn't really train. He fucking
he
did a
probably
boxing
didn't give
camp for
two
like a
shits about
week.
it.
I know that if they fought again and it was like a real boxing thing and he gave him 6 months to train, it'd be fucking annihilation.
It
He'd be
It would be a different.
he'd be ripped. Well, I guess I don't know. It's never been Ben Askren's thing to be ripped. He'd be a lot more in shape. He wouldn't get tired, and yeah, he'd fucking pick that kid apart. But I don't know. It was disappointing seeing him lose, just because it's like, God damn it! I wanted him to beat his ass so bad. I wanted him to fucking like stuff his head into the mat like a bad dog. You know what I mean?
bad,
Yeah.
bad,
Fucking-
bad Jake Paul.
God damn it. Yeah. But he's gonna get somebody though. He's gonna talk shit to the. Oh, he's been talking shit to Conor McGregor.
Oh.
And Conor McGregor's obviously like, no, like I'm obviously not gonna do that shit. But now that Floyd took that fight with Logan Paul, and he beat Ben Askren, I think Conor did respond. But fucking hell, bro, if he fights Conor McGregor, I'm gonna be like, I'll fucking see you next life, bro. You're fucking dead. Like, yeah. The dude was
Connor's a
actually.
striker. He's an insane
Yes,
striker.
dude, and he was able to fucking like hold it up with Floyd for what was it, 8 rounds? I mean, he did carry him for a few rounds, but god damn. Also, Logan Paul fighting Floyd Mayweather is probably one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, literally everybody around him is like, you're gonna die. You're fighting proven to be one of the greatest boxers of all time.
Floyd does have a tendency to clinch a lot. That's what a lot of people make fun of him for. But the thing that's incredible about Floyd, he has one of the fastest hands I've ever seen. He's insane.
He's the greatest.
He can bust out a combo in like 2 seconds.
He's the greatest defensive boxer of all time. That's why he clinches.
Yeah.
He like the amount of significant strikes on him are incredibly low.
He's an incredible outboxer, which is funny because of his size.
He
He's
fights
so
with his
small.
left hand on his hip, and he blocks with his shoulder. It's fucking crazy.
He's good at what he does, and unfortunately not a lot of people like that. Like, I'm one of them. I don't particularly enjoy that type of boxing, but I don't want to take away from
if it's
his
really
wins.
technical.
And yeah.
I mean, when he was young, he'd knock people the fuck out. He just kept getting injuries. He'd break his hands and shit. So he laid off and he'd just start picking people apart. But yeah, he's gonna fight Logan Paul. The only thing is though, Logan Paul's like 200 something pounds. I think he's making him go to like 195, and then he's what, like 160, 170.
I thought he was at least 185.
What are you talking about?
Isn't he like 185 or something? I didn't think he was that
Floyd's
small.
pretty small. He fought Pacquiao, bro.
I guess you're right.
Pacquiao's little as fuck.
Yeah, he's tiny.
No, but yeah. So, but everybody's like, dude, it won't matter if you can't touch him. And yeah, he's just like, bro, I got like the 1% chance to get a lucky shot knocking him out. He's never been knocked out.
No, he doesn't let it happen.
Well, not even that. He's been hit hard, like hard as fuck. Like, and he's cool. So I don't know.
I think his outlook on a match is like, I could probably take one punch from this guy. Like whoever, he's like, I could probably take one.
Yeah.
And then he's just gonna dodge everything else. Like
exactly.
He's preparing.
It's a lot easier to take a fight when you're like, when all you got to think about as a professionally trained fighter who's taken hundreds of punches. Yeah. Can I take 4 or 5 from this kid? Yeah, no problem. All right, easy money.
You could be the heaviest bombing infighter in the world, but if you don't ever land it, and because he's amazing at keeping the pace of the fight. If he just doesn't let you touch you and you can never get your own rhythm in, like, you're fucked. You just can't do it.
I'm just disappointed. I just can't wait until Jake Paul gets dropped, and then he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna start doing MMA," and then Ben Askren's like, "Hey, what's up, dude? How about that fight again, rematch? Askren Paul too? You know what I'm saying?"
He doesn't even ever go for the submission. He just
That's what I'm saying,
takes
bro.
them down for like 12 rounds.
He totally would. He'd take them all. He'd probably 3 or 5, but yeah, he'd definitely take him 3 or 5 rounds, and he'd just fucking stuff his head
into apart like a fucking spider.
That'd be so fucking funny. He'd deserve that shit too. There's a fight that I never got to see that I really wish would have happened. Would have been Askren versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. You don't know a lot about UFC, do you? Okay, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
You get it. Come on. You got it.
Nurmagomedov.
We made it. He got
He's from Dagestan, bro. He's fucking crazy.
One more time?
He's from Dagestan.
Oh, well, I thought I was pretty good at countries. Where is that?
Place right next to Russia. Like I think it's a piece of Russia. I think it got absorbed by the USSR, and now it's just like...
It's just Russia now?
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong. But, yeah, and they just make killers there. There's so many guys in the UFC now from Dagestan. And, dude, he's in the same division as Conor McGregor. And he showed up, and then he just walked through everybody, including Conor McGregor. Just dominated. Not like nobody really.
What kind of fighter is he?
Oh, just grappling.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, and his fucking signature move is he hangs on to your back, and he just weighs you down and makes you tired, and then he just tires you out, and then he just slams your head into fucking bits, and then will submit you once you're finally tired, and then it's over.
I like that.
Yeah, but Ben Askren is the same thing. Yeah, and I was like, okay, Khabib is amazing with jiu-jitsu. Ben Askren is really good with jiu-jitsu, but is amazing at wrestling. And so I was like,
that would just be...
That'd be a fun fight. For the first time...
It would be... people, it would be for the casual observer, it would be boring. But for like people like you and me, you can see the technical because it would just be, they would both just be waiting for the takedown, or they would be
I think it'd be
getting out of those takedowns.
I think it'd be a long time on the ground.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
they'd be going after it on the ground. I don't know.
And that's when people who watch UFC from the outside and just go, well, it's just a bunch of, it would definitely be the definition of people saying, it's just two dudes cuddling. But it would be so interesting to watch those two guys try their best.
I think that's changed a lot. Because I remember back, like, I've watched old UFC fights. Like there's a fight, I think it was Royce Gracie and then some other guy. He was fucking jacked. And he was a boxer.
Ken Shamrock?
Is that a guy?
Yeah.
Okay. It might have been their fight. But they were fighting, and obviously...
I only know that guy because he was a professional wrestler for a long time.
Okay, so that's Royce Gracie, like one of the greatest jiu-jitsu players of all time, versus this guy who's a striker, big time. And so they're going at it, and this guy gets on top of Royce, and Royce is on his back. But Royce just locks him up. And back then, the UFC was fucking weird. It was like, their whole shtick was like, who has the best martial art, right? Because nobody back then like actually mixed all this shit. They were just like, I do this thing, I'm really good at it. But he's jiu-jitsu, and if he grabs you, you're fucking dead. Like that's just like, you can maybe knock him out, like, but so they were fighting. He gets Royce on his back, and back then it was one round, and it went for 30 minutes, and it went until somebody was either knocked out or submitted.
Fuck.
That was it. It was like it was fucking, yeah, dude. It was terrible. Like back then, dude. Like there were so few rules. Like you could go after a dude's dick and balls, and that was fine. Like there were so many things that you could do, and it was just legal. It was fucking stupid. And seriously, like 20 minutes of the fight was just them in that same position, just Royce on his back, that guy on top of him. Every now and then he'd try to hit him. Royce would fucking slap him up, maybe try to get out, but for 20 minutes. And fucking people were booing because it was UFC back then. It was like, it was like underground.
Games,
yeah, it was underground. Like it wasn't on TV. They didn't allow it because they thought it was too fucking violent and all this shit. So everybody's just there because they want to see blood and violence. And I was like, jeez, everybody's booing him. I was like, fucking shut up, Jesus.
It's a sad story.
Those poor wrestlers back then, man.
Mm-hmm.
They just got fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, do 1 billion steroids, be fucking jacked, and then come into work and almost kill yourself.
Consistently just just throw yourself at the mat.
And we'll give you maybe 80K.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jesus, bro. I can go work at an office, make 80K.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do that shit. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which I'd prefer. WWF would be a lot more exciting, a lot more fun, a lot more fulfilling. But you'd be dying sooner.
Yeah, it would be fun just to be a performer, but also,
I think the only exception is The Undertaker. He's like the only one from that era that's still like,
The Undertaker's just a fucking anomaly when it comes to wrestling.
Hello.
Going to work?
Love you. Bye. Yes, we are doing this in our home, if you don't forget. And
that was Phyllis,
my wonderful girlfriend that we are calling Phyllis.
I think you came up. We can change the name. It's your girlfriend.
I mean, what fucking name is going to be better than Phyllis? She just has an old lady name.
Yeah. We could just consistently use old lady names.
Different. I'm trying to think.
That was Blanche. Like I'm just gonna,
Blanche, bruh. What fucking old lady you know named Blanche?
The Golden Girl.
Of course, you fucking.
I'm just gonna go through the Golden Girl cast. Name
Blanche, bro. If you name your daughter Blanche, you don't love that bitch. That's the fucking truth. You had her out of wedlock. The condom broke. Some shit happened.
Yeah, Blanche is a mistake.
Yeah, you fucking little bitch. Yeah, but you can't call her that, so you call her Blanche, and you mean it when you say it. Come here, Blanche.
Is that short for something, or is that just straight up a name? I've only heard it on that show. I don't know much.
I think it's a real word too. Like it means something. So that like, I fucking hate it when people name their kid like Hope or Faith.
I have an Ann Hope.
Hope. Why don't we name a bitch Trust?
That's happened.
Why don't we name a bitch Holy? I say this, but one of my good buddies growing up, he's black, and his name was Finest. Finest. Finest, like the adjective.
That's a mom that loves you. That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, he was in foster care.
Oh.
Well, I don't know. I think it was just
no.
because his mom couldn't afford him and his brother.
Okay.
So
I just know those were probably the worst sentences back to back. I think ever.
No, I think
And I'm glad we have not only recorded audio, but you could see my
his
fucking
biological
face.
mother loves him, I'm sure. He's
Yeah.
like kept up with them and all that.
Oh, that's good. That's
Okay,
good. That's
so-
good. That's good.
It's not a big deal.
It's just that mom had him, held him, and went, "Oh, this motherfucker's finest.
Yeah, this is my finest. Yeah.
This is my finest kid." And then the brother's name is like Tim.
His brother's name was Lizelle.
Hell yeah, dude, that rules.
Yeah, it's like
That's not a baby book name. Both of me and my brother got names out of a fucking baby
that's
book.
true. Yeah. What if you had a kid? Because I know you're like basically asexual at this point in your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to have a child someday, once you get over this phase,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
what would you name it? If it was a boy or a girl?
Oh shit. I don't know. I always liked Henry for some reason.
Henry. I don't know. That's just funny because I never realized this when I was young. But when you get older, you hate certain names just because you know people with that name. So I
Yeah.
immediately went to all the motherfuckers I know
named Henry. Yeah.
And I was like, you don't want
Well,
one of those, bro.
I had in like elementary school, because we had different math teachers for math for some fucking reason. I don't know why they did that. But the math teacher I had, he heard my last name was Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So he started calling me Henry. And he was like, from the Sandlot. And I went,
The main kid was named Henry Rodriguez.
no, his name was Manny Rodriguez. But he always said like Henry from like the Sandlot. And I was like,
That poor white fuck.
yeah, I was like, what?
He just didn't understand that there were other names besides white people names.
I think he was just crazy.
No, I think he's just a person who misheard something from a
Oh,
movie
so
he
he
saw
just,
once.
so he just, you misheard Manny as Henry and went, yeah.
It's close enough, but I mean, it's. not
I mean,
really.
yeah, either Henry or, I mean, I like Daniel.
Wow, really? A biblical name?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's my middle name and I like it.
What about for a girl?
Um,
He was like, I'd throw that away. I wouldn't even.
yeah, there's
You
no
flush girls, I think, right?
Yeah, there's
I think
no line of secession. I'd leave him in a forest.
That's
a
terrible.
girl name.
It's fucking awful. I'd leave it in the forest. Jesus Christ.
Well, my great grandma had, I don't know. I like the name Vera because that rules,
Vera, that is a cool name.
but it's also a very old lady name.
Vera?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's an old lady name that nobody knows though. So
Mhm.
that's like a cool
Vera would be cool
that's a usable old lady name.
because I would say name her after my mom, but her name's Jessica, and I don't want her to deal with that. Because there's probably she's gonna just be around a million of those.
Yeah, that's an issue with my name, bro.
Yeah.
I go anywhere and there's a billion Ryans and I'm like
You've never not been Ryan B. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've
Dude,
never been your last name or Ryan
in my
B.
friend group that I grew up with from elementary through high school, we were both Ryan B. So the group just started being like, "You're Ryan,
You're Bon.
you're Bon." Yes, I was Bon. I was
Mhm.
like, "All right, sweet dude." And so that was just my life, and it caught on so much. High school teachers started calling me Bon.
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. So fucking.
Yeah, because in my friend group we had, the friend group I have now has 2 Alexes, and then in high school we had like 4 Johns or Jonathans, so
Fuck that.
they all got their a couple Nicks, so they got last names. Like,
It got to the point where I started like having a thing with this one girl, and she started calling me Bon because I met her through hanging out with some friends, and I was like, if this is gonna be a thing, dude, you gotta call me Ryan. I was like,
yeah, no, that's
was like-
I want you to call me my name.
yeah,
Like, that's
I'd
totally
I'd
fair.
really prefer it if you, the person I'm like doing things with in this way,
In an intimate kind of way.
I'd
rather you
prefer it
call
if you
my name.
called me by my
Yeah.
like that movie.
Yeah. Call
Or
me-
is that call me by your name or call me by my name?
I think it's your name.
Oh. Call Me by My Name is my movie. It's the straight
Yeah.
version
Yeah.
where I'm just a damaged child because
Yeah.
I've been called my last name my whole life.
Yeah. It's just 2 hours of you going, it's Ryan.
Yes.
It's Ryan.
No B.
No, it's not Bond.
No.
It's Ryan.
It's not Brian. It's Ryan.
Dude,
We've been over this. Fuck Brian's. You hear me?
Fuck Brian's.
Your name Brian? Fuck you.
Are we let's
Pussy.
streamline that stance. Are we just going Y's? Or are we going I's and Y's?
Oh, we talked about this. If your name is Brian, go fuck yourself.
Okay.
If your name's Bryan,
Also go fuck yourself.
also fuck that
Yeah.
name. I think you understand how bad that is, and you should just be a Ryan. So you just come. You know what I mean? You got to leave room for them the secession of.
And if I
Ryans.
remember correctly, I think in that same breath, I think I said fuck Sean's as well.
Yeah, I have called you Sean a couple times by accident.
It's whatever.
I don't know. They're so close. Plus, plus I work with a motherfucker named Sean, so it's like
I'm not even.
Actually, his name is not Sean. His name is Sean Lee. One name, Sean Lee.
How's he spelling Lee?
Lee. Yeah.
Okay. It's not that weird Leigh.
And it feels so weird, dude. Because I'm just like, with a fucking
Lee's a middle name.
so much. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like Stanley. Sean. What the fuck are you doing, man? Whatever. He's half Korean. Why are you getting this fucking old down south name? Staring at the lights is not what.
Speaking of staring into stuff,
The sun? I really like
no,
doing that.
It has to do with the sun. No. It's serious.
One of my favorite childhood memories.
No. What were you?
Dude, remember when we had the solar eclipse?
That's exactly what I was about
Bro,
to talk about.
everybody was like, "Oh my god!" Dude.
I was.
So many people went blind.
Where'd you go?
I didn't see it.
Really?
I saw it like later in the. Well, it was happening during school, and I remember the school even sponsored something where you're like, "Hey, drive," because we weren't gonna get the full eclipse in our town. You had to drive like an hour out to see the full eclipse, and the school even sponsored you could like take a bus or some shit. But I was like, I don't want to fucking do that because I still got to do my homework for my class. So I just went through my normal day.
We got the full thing out in Lincoln, so it was
Oh,
actually kind of cool. We would just walk through campus, and it's the most crowded I've ever seen, except maybe game day. It was the most crowded I've ever
Did you
seen.
get those stupid little
Yeah,
glasses? Yeah.
they were giving them out in the lobby of my dorm, so I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was pretty. It was.
It
cool.
is cool. But
It was super cool because it was just straight up dark for about 10 minutes.
you know what was one of the things
At like
that,
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
you want to know something that fucking blew my mind that I understood it when it was explained to me, but I do not remember how it worked. Somebody brought out a colander and they were like, okay, look at how the light goes through a colander from just like a regular light in a building, right? It goes through how you'd expect it. The light goes through the holes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they took it outside, and then the shadow, I cannot fucking remember how this happens, but they showed it, and the lights that were going through the holes like reflected the way it looked in the eclipse. So if it looked like a crescent moon, like type of shit, you know, that's what the little fucking light coming through each hole looked like. Looked like a little crescent. And I was like, how the fuck does that work?
In each hole, it was a crescent.
Each individual hole.
Interesting.
I was like, what the fuck is happening, dude? But
I assume it's just the amount of light. Like what?
yeah, but my brain, the way I think about it, is like light source spreads evenly. Like I
it
just,
shouldn't. Because I was gonna say, it's the amount of light, but it still would be a perfect circle, even if it was less light.
yeah, I don't know. It was interesting.
Fucking science, man.
Yeah, it fucks me up. There's so many things in science that I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm gonna think about this forever. But
I learned what a water bear was when I was like 8, and I still think about those little fuckers sometimes.
Tardigrade.
Yeah,
water bear,
they're awesome.
That we are technically a planet of the tardigrades. They're the most prolific species on the planet.
Yeah, they
live fucking anywhere, dude.
They can do literally whatever they want.
If nobody knows what we're talking about, a tardigrade is a microscopic, tiny little fucking thing that just, looks like a little bear with a fucked up face.
Mm-hmm. It can live in the vacuum of space, fucking underwater.
Yeah, they're fucking crazy.
Anything cold, anything hot, it'll just sit there.
Yeah, and exist.
Just
what the fuck
do
do
whatever.
they do? Yeah.
I assume they do what most microscopic. Nope.
Microscopic.
No, I'll go with it. Any of those kind of things do is eat and do that forever until
eat and such.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what is the life like. Because they don't really see. I don't think they have eyes that small. I don't think you have enough.
I wouldn't see the point in it.
I don't think you have the mass to have like create the complexity of an ocular system. But like, yeah, fuck all that shit, man. That's gross. When I think about that too much, I start to like itch because I'm like, I got billions of these little motherfuckers, man. Yeah. I hate thinking about that shit because then I'm also like, people tell me like, oh, you're more of like a passenger system than you are yourself. Because like a big part of the reason your brain works the way it does is because you're affected by the literal trillions of bacteria in your stomach. Like you could.
I always think about it that way, but it's I think about it biologically in the way of like, is that what you're thinking, or is that just what some gland is telling you?
Exactly, dude.
It's like, are you calm, or is it there's just a pheromone or hormone or something currently making you that way?
See, but the difference between humans and everybody else is you can feel those pheromones, hormones, all that bullshit, and then you can still like
you can resist them to a point. Yeah.
Well, it's not even to a point. You can train yourself to be better at it and to control that shit. Like, like you, no other animal on this planet is going to sit there, drink gasoline, and light himself on fire and meditate to fucking oppose the Vietnam War. You know what I mean? That shit's fucking crazy, but. Man, I think about like they've done studies where they took a healthy person and they took an obese person and they did I can't remember the technical name of it. They shit swapped. They took a dump, both of them, and they took a little bit of the shit.
Oh, we've talked about this.
They took the fit guy and they took his shit, shoved it up the fat guy's asshole, and then the fat guy's shit shoved it up the fit guy's asshole. And then guess what happened?
I don't want to
dwell. The fit guy got fatter and the fat guy got fitter. It was crazy.
I don't want to dwell on this too much. That is very interesting. But we spent a lot of time last week talking about buttholes and butthole-related activities.
It's kind of just a part of what we do.
So we might. Or okay. I was gonna say we could just stream right over this, or we could just.
I think that's interesting, bro. Maybe you and I should just like swap shit.
I think you're healthier.
You'd put on weight. I doubt it.
Okay.
I don't know. Being overweight's so fucking shit, man.
Yeah.
Cause like I've seen the way you fucking run down the stairs, bro. My body would fall apart if I did that. You understand how much weight I'm fucking dropping on each step when I do? He runs down the stairs. What is it? Every third step? Or some shit like that? He'll like just jump down the stairs really fast. Like he's walking. I'm like, how the fuck? You fucking psychopath.
I don't know. I mean, we did talk about how one time I did just break both of my big toes doing that. So maybe I'm not amazing.
It definitely is like some parkour shit. I can tell. Like you were so into that. Yeah. Because you're just like, dude, I actually have seen you do shit like that because it's evident to me that you've practiced those movements.
Oh, yeah.
Like when we were moving, when you were not tired as fuck, when I can't remember what you were doing, but we were walking somewhere and then we just had to like, I think we were running down the hill or whatever. But just the way that you ran down it, it was evident to me that like, oh, he controls his body better than I do.
Oh, yeah.
That was all it took. And I was just like, oh, okay, neat.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, it was a fun time, and when I did that, I don't really do it much anymore because also there's not a lot of good places around here that aren't
not really
super public.
Omaha's a big city.
There's a couple good places in Omaha, but the thing is, every time I see them, I'm like, oh, that'd be good. That's a government building.
Yeah,
that is a government building, and I don't want to deal with that.
I don't know.
It's actually it's strange to me because I started doing calisthenics and all the stuff I do now to supplement that.
Yeah.
And now it's just completely replaced it.
Omaha's interesting to talk about because it's like it's a big city, but if you go to other cities, it's like I don't know. It like you can find groups of people that are interested in what you're interested in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in Omaha, it's like that's still true, but everybody's 45. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like that's definitely changing because like fucking people are moving to the Midwest in droves right now.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck, man, I don't know. I think when we're old, Omaha is going to be very diverse and very full of artists and things. It already is, bro.
I'm seeing it's going to remind me a lot of maybe a Portland or an Austin.
I think so.
When we get older, yeah.
I think so too. I think it will be an up and coming city. But I think one of the things that a lot of it's a good saying is artists, they show up to places with a lot of potential. They create art, they create meaning, they bring out the beauty in an area.
And then the culture surrounds that.
Yeah, and it builds the culture. And then all the fucking companies and shit move in, and then because of that, the prices of everything rises, and then the artists have to move out.
And they have to go somewhere else.
Yes, exactly. And so it's interesting to me because I've seen that. Like, downtown Omaha is so fucking pretty. It's gorgeous. There's so many places that have like wonderful people. We have the Bemis Art Museum, which is it's literally it's a building where I can't remember who the fuck it is, but somebody basically who is a famous artist sponsors people. He basically goes like, he finds people who are promising artists, and he's like, hey, I like your shit as just an art. Like, you don't even like make anything for people. You're just like, I make thought-provoking art, and that's it. And he's like, hey, come live in this old like tobacco factory. Not factory. What the fuck? We have a bunch of factory buildings in downtown Omaha that have been repurposed because nobody fucking uses them anymore. And it's one of those.
Because all of our jobs are going to China. Continue.
Yes, something like that. And then so yeah, it's just a bunch of bedrooms. And then one day they allowed you to tour, and you could go see the artists' bedrooms and like, the art they did and like their hangout areas and shit like that. And it was fucking wild, man. I was like, God damn, I cannot imagine
It's the most
this
modern
lifestyle.
form of like British patronage. Where just
Pretty
like
much.
I like your art.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna house you, and I have enough money where I can just better the thing I like.
It was interesting too, seeing like how much it truly did seem to improve their work. Like, just imagine having a place full of people just like you, do as good as you are, doing the thing you like to do, and sharing ideas and like spreading inspiration, all that shit.
Yeah,
it is pretty interesting. But yeah, so there's a lot of art and cool stuff here.
In a very small way, that's basically what we did. We moved in literally for this.
Yeah.
To better this and have a creative space for it.
It really does matter a lot to have people, I don't know how to put it, to create relationships with people that have same ideals and like same goals and are interested in the things that you are.
And I think it has to be to us. Maybe I might be pigeonholing here, but it also helps if it's the same thing. If it's painting, surround your people who have the same outlook, even if maybe not even the same outlook, but the same passion for painting.
Yes,
that'll help you.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, we have different ways to interact with YouTube videos and stuff, but we also have the same passion and
enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
Like, we both watch YouTube and enjoy that shit.
Enjoy it. And my videos are different from yours, but we still like, that's not bad. Yeah, we both enjoy them.
Yeah, enjoy making them. So,
and I mean, but then we say this, but then there's those fucking like phase houses and those TikTok houses. And
those are silly, bro. Did you know
those are just there to?
Did you know there's a TikTok house that's like with like 9-year-olds, like literal like 9 to 12-year-olds. I think the oldest one is 12.
No, are you serious?
They're so young. Yeah, legitimately.
And they just live alone?
I don't think they live alone. I don't think that's legal. But they make enough money to have a house with all of them, yeah. It's fucking crazy. It's like so depressing.
Yeah, I'm not even...
What Bruh, what are you making as an 8-year-old that other 8-year-olds watch? You know what I mean?
I'm
Besides Ryan toy reviews.
I'm just mad because I'm thinking about what is that going to do to them in the long term?
Terrible things.
Are you fucking kidding?
Like, are you joking?
If I could get everything I wanted when I was 8, I'd be a fucking monster.
Dude, everybody would. Are you kidding me? The only reason
you would have no discipline or work ethic whatsoever.
Yes, exactly. I think the one thing that has really enriched my life, despite all the damage it's done, is me having to put up with the bullshit of being a nasty fat. So rude to myself, but like being obese as a child, like legitimately morbidly obese as a child, like that. It adds a lot of character having to move through that slog, having to be poor, having to deal with that, and getting made fun of, and then being like, oh,
the only thing that's going to change this is me.
Yeah,
and I have to put the work in.
Yeah, dude, and it's like, oh fuck. But yeah, if you're fucking 8, you're already popular in school, you make a TikTok, and then you make money as an 8-year-old enough to have a house and to hang out with other TikTokers and a fucking
Christ.
Jesus. Yeah, that's depressing. Dude, if my kid did TikTok and he was getting popular, I'd be like, good for you.
Stop.
Everything else in your life is going to take precedence over this right now, though.
Yeah.
You're going to finish school. Also, this is so dependent on how much money I make. Like, I'm almost calling my shot the fact that I'll have money when I'm older. But I'm like, I kind of want extra tutors for my kids. Like, because I feel like the public school system is important because then you teach them, like, these are your average peers in the world, and this is what it's like.
Social skills are important.
Yeah, and this is the chaos of just the average society. But also,
Public schools suck.
I want you to have teachers that are capable of legitimately teaching you why things are important instead of going, remember this, and then
It's like, this is important.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, I only had one teacher that I felt, I maybe had a couple, but the fact that I've had multitudes of teachers and then only a couple of them were like really good enough to be like, this is why this is important and to get me engaged and all this. Like, I think in high school I could count it literally like 5 of them. I had 5 teachers who were like so invested in what they were teaching. They were able to get me invested and to teach me why I should enjoy it.
I believe, and I might be formulating this theory as I'm talking right now, but I think the reason high school teachers are so much different from the teachers I had in college, because every teacher I had in some way was so passionate that it got me involved. And I think the reason...
In high school?
Yeah, no, sorry, college.
Okay.
I think the reason is the reason the students are there. Going to college is an active decision. You were there when you were paying money.
Yeah.
So there's no... and then with high school, you're forced to go.
I also think it's with your specific major that you were in. It was something like computer science. That's one of those majors where it's like, oh, my parents definitely pressured me into going to this major because it makes good money and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Because those bigger majors like the engineering, the fucking business, and the marketing.
Filled, bro, to the fucking brim. Tell people what your major was, though.
Oh, criminology and criminal justice.
Yeah, okay. So, that's what I think.
I had a class of maybe 500.
Bro, if we ever get big and people come back and they're like, this motherfucker got a fucking degree in this shit, and then we start making our own money and I tell people about my delinquent ass, oh my God, they'd be like, he's been living with a cop this whole time? What the fuck?
Well, I wasn't a fucking cherub growing up either, so we're fine.
Oh, true, I know, but like still, that's still funny to me.
Yeah, people make jokes about that too. Like, people would be talking about, like, they would be talking about how much weed they... I already feel like a cop mid-sentence. They were talking about all the weed they smoked and all the shit, and they're like, oh, I shouldn't tell Shane. I was like, I don't have any authority.
Yeah, I'm not a cop.
I don't care.
I learned about it.
Even if I had a badge, I would not care.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
I would not give a shit.
I feel like if you're a cop and your buddy says, hey, is it cool if I smoke some weed? And then they go, no, or I'll arrest you. Or if he goes, you have weed, I'd be like, you're a shit person.
I would do what I normally do when someone's smoking weed around me. Get out of the room, not because it makes me uncomfortable. I just want to smell like it.
I mean, fair. See,
that happened on Tuesday. They were smoking outside and I wanted to hang, but then I was like, I don't want to go home smelling like this. So I'm going to go inside and talk to you through the screen door.
It's kind of tough if you're not the one smoking it. If you're standing like a couple feet away, you don't really smell like it though.
Oh.
Not that I would know.
No. No, never.
Of course not.
I guess that is a dumb, because even when I was smoking weed, I never really smelled like it.
Yeah, it goes away pretty quick. Yeah. It's not as bad as people think. Just you're in high school and you're like, bro, gotta erase every trace because my dad will actually end my fucking life.
I never really worried about that. My dad, we talked about this before.
He different fathers.
Yeah, it would be like a week and we just wouldn't see each other.
Yeah, that would not fucking fly. My dad was like, yeah, you need to come home right now. And I'd be like, why? He's like, you didn't do the dishes. I'd be like, really? You fucking serious? Yeah, come home right now.
When my mom first left, my dad was like that a lot. And then it just, after a while, like after weekly fight, I think I just broke him and he was just like, you know what? Fine. Just do whatever you want.
See, there weren't fights in my house. It was he yells and you listen. That's the way it went. And I was like,
I couldn't stand for that. If you're going to yell at me, we're going to yell. Like, I couldn't do that shit.
I think that's about as much of it I'm willing to talk about.
Yeah.
Pow, pow. Everybody's got their issues. Don't you judge me, bitch. I say to the camera.
Oh, I was about to say, it's like, this is a safe place. Right?
No,
It's
yeah,
fine. It's
no,
fine.
No, you and I have talked plenty about it.
No, it's cool. But yeah, no. Like, I remember one time I think it was on his birthday. We were playing.
Oof.
What was it? Never Have I Ever? Because
Oh.
they were in high school, I guess. Like, even I was like a junior and I was drinking and I was like, this is dumb.
Bro, I feel like people who went into the military were just like
They never got to be kids.
Yeah, they're like playing serious.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they're serious, they're like, I am serious. And then they would go fuck off and they just get stuck in that mode.
Mm-hmm. And so we're playing this and we're like, never ever smoked weed. And my dad was like, does it count? So I got offered to it in elementary school in the bathroom. And I was like, there's so much there that I don't want to get into.
Elementary school, bro.
Dude, my parents are hood as fuck. It's crazy.
Not as hood as my mom.
Like, I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, there's just weed in the bathrooms. I was like, what? And also, this is one of the most saddest things and one of the most funniest things I've ever heard my father say.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, I would be in a gang right now if it wasn't for soccer. And I was like, that was almost cool. That was almost so cool.
Soccer, bro.
Because there was just gangs all over the place.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But then the
my
Compton
mom-
pretty
My
pretty
mom
beats it.
just started telling us stories about her childhood. Like, we basically knew jack shit except for, like, things that happened in their family.
Mm-hmm.
Because she grew up in Compton and then moved when they got money to Inglewood. If you don't know... Okay, most people know Compton. I feel like I don't need to explain that to anybody.
I think Inglewood. Explain it. I know Inglewood,
Let's
but
just
I
say,
just know.
let's just say Papillion, Nebraska. Let's say if the bar is this big, right?
And
Bottom,
it is.
top.
They made that rank.
Papillion is literally right here. We were within the top 10 safest towns to grow up in, and that's where I fucking grew up. Compton is literally one of the most dangerous in the world. Inglewood is right about here. Inglewood is literally like a quarter step up from Compton. Like, it's still horribly filled with crime. And they were like, yo, we're moving to the good shit.
Moving on up. It's like,
Yeah,
really?
exactly. So, yeah,
My mom was pretty hush hush. Well, because it's funny, because growing up, I regularly saw my dad drink until unconsciousness.
yes.
But I never really saw my mom. She was always the one who had to babysit everybody. But it wasn't until maybe high school when she bounced and she talked. I talked to her about it, and I was like, "Mom, why didn't you ever drink?" And I was like, "Well, I just got that out of my system around like middle school, high school." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Yeet. What?
I was like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Fucking hell, man.
And she was like, "Well, yeah. I mean, I was smoking at the time. I mean, I might as well have a drink with it." And I was like, "What?"
Fucking Christ.
Yeah. Well, apparently, yeah. You know how a lot of people get their crazies out like early? Yeah, my mom just did it like
Bro, yeah, my mom's got some stories. Yeah, when she was this is a story I just want to tell, and then I'll talk one that goes with that. Fucking outside of elementary school, she'd walk home from elementary school in Compton, mind you. And one day she left. Crips and Bloods were having a gang fight on the other side of the sidewalk. Like the road, elementary school, sidewalk, road, sidewalk.
gang warfare.
Gang fight.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, they had chains and knives and shit. And I was like, just outside the elementary school?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah.
They couldn't pick a better place for that.
Dude, okay. And then she was
That's
like,
my least favorite part of the Crips and the Bloods. They don't have any discretion. No regard.
yeah, maybe don't. Fuck, okay, whatever.
Like there's public parks.
I don't think they
guys.
killed any kids, but certainly were pretty close to them.
I mean, most of them are already kids, which sucks.
Yeah, like fucking 14. But also, so in high school, getting the crazies out, she, two things actually. One story is one she told us recently. Another is one she told me when I was like 15. When she was in high school, her friends and her, after school, they would go get a bottle of alcohol just because you can.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's everywhere. And they would go up to like, because there's a bunch of mountains and hills in California. They'd drive up to one of the mountains. They'd get drunk at the top. And then one of them would put the car in neutral. And then they would see how fast they could get down the mountain without any gas or brakes.
Fuck, I have a Compton story.
Okay. One more, though. Another story, when she had just graduated high school, she went to a party with like an OG cholo. It's like a guy who's like 35, like has lived through the streets, like makes good money now because he's at the top of the gang and bullshit like that. And he just has a house, and of course he's throwing a banger party, and she's there because she lives there, and people started fucking drive-by shooting the house, and so she was like, but the thing that made me so sad was like, yeah, I heard the shots, I jumped under a table, grabbed my friend, and we jumped out the window and all that, and I was like, you had the oh no, she jumped on the table and she was like, I swear to God, because she was like, she signed up for the army and she was shipping out in like a week, and she was like, I swear to God, if I die right now because of you. And I was like, Mom, how the fuck did you have the foresight and like the
cognitive reasoning
to fucking be yelling at your friend while people are
worrying
firing
about
at your building? Oh my God. And yeah, I was like, holy fuck, like that just gives you like, that's probably like a fucking just
a minute.
Oh yeah, fucking grains of salt in this hourglass that she has.
I think I've actually already told my common story. The one about my dad driving out there, and he would drive out there with buddies, and then go to the worst part, scream the N-word, and then see if he can get out.
That's fucking retarded.
And one time when he did it, like he turned immediately to a 45 in his face.
That sounds. I don't mean to fucking wreck. That sounds like a fake story. That sounds
It
like a
might
tall
be.
tale. That doesn't sound real. Who in their right fucking mind would actually do that?
My dad, I assume.
No, but there's a lot of stupid shit that people do. Nobody goes, hey, shoot me. Like, nobody fucking... Excuse me? Last night we were watching Fear Factor, and we were debating whether or not we would get on this stupid pole, like, fucking 600 feet in the air, and then shimmy out, grab a flag, and shimmy back in for, like, how much money you would do that with no safety equipment. I could see somebody doing that. Nobody would be like, hey, fuck you, try to kill me, bitch. And they'd be like, it's like tag. I'll see if I can get away with my life. Get the fuck out of here. That doesn't sound real, to be honest.
My dad's a lot of things, but I've never seen him lie. And I also know he's an idiot, so...
I don't know. I guess I'm just skeptical.
I mean, yeah, it's a stupid fucking story.
Well, that, and I came from that wonderful church, Lord of Hosts Church. Shout out.
Pew, 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 pew. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. If anybody's seen that wonderful clip of not Joel Osteen. What the fuck is his name? No, it's not Joel Osteen. Grant Kirkhope. Not Grant Kirkhope. He made the fucking Banjo-Kazooie movie.
Yeah.
I think it's something Hope.
Movie? He was the composer. Sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Okay, there's a clip of him with a congregation. He's like, Joe Biden's president. Ha ha ha. He's laughing like super fake, and then the congregation is so brainwashed that they all like start laughing with him. And he does that for a while, and then it zooms out.
I think we talked about this like 2 podcasts ago. They can't forget about this.
He was visiting my mom's church. Okay, so I grew up going to that church. And let's just say I heard some tall fucking tales from that pastor.
Oh, that's fair.
I'm sure we'll get into it someday. I think I might.
You talked about the fucking devil thing 3 podcasts ago. Yeah,
that was a big one. He's got one specific tall tale that I remember to this day that like stuck with me because I remember hearing it be like, you're retarded.
Spill beans, Ryan.
No. Well, the podcast is about to end, so we've got it on.
Is this our
now,
first cliffhanger?
Cliffhanger. Well, it won't even be for the next one. I want to make an episode about all that and just be like, tell the whole story.
Okay.
Because I think that'd be enjoyable. But yeah. So he told tall fucking tales, and obviously he has kids. One of them was my age, so I like went to their house, and I would like fucking sleepovers, and he would talk to me about shit. And of course, I played Call of Duty all the time, and Nazi Zombies was a thing. But we weren't allowed to play it because it had fucking scary demon monsters in it, right? And it would let demons in your home, is what they told us. But once the pastor's kids started playing it, then it was okay for us to play it. Yeah. But so that happened. What the fuck was I getting at here? Oh, and yeah, the son would tell tales all the time. Like, I was really fucking good at that game. And I would get to like round 33 or some shit in the zombies, and I'd be like, dude, that was fucking great. I did so well. And he'd be like, yeah, dude, I got to like round 97 last week. And I was like, no, you actually didn't. And then his older brother was friends with my older brother because they were the same age, just by chance. And then he called him one time because that's what you did in 2007, I guess. And then he was like, yeah, dude, I'm on my rec basketball team's airplane right now. Private airplane. I was like, what is wrong with his family? And I now know, but so yeah, you guys can look forward to that. I'll spill the whole beans at some point about everything that happened at that wonderful church. Magic.
Well, at least we have our bit for next week. I don't have to do shit next week. That sounds awesome.
I guess we'll see if it'll be next week. I might want to set it up a bit more, but who knows?
I think we've set it up for like 10 episodes.
But I don't know if I wanted to just come off the top of the dome. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll do it next week.
Yeah, maybe I'll write some shit down.
I'll just be here for emotional support and reactions.
My legs are crying. No. I'll be fine. But okay. So the fucking camera's about to turn off.
All right.
Have a nice day, everybody.
Ring the bell.
Or have a nice night, or what the fuck ever.
We're done.
Go watch another podcast or one of our videos, please. Join the Patreon that we might have.
What the fuck
by
are you
now.
talking about? Oh, I guess, yeah, we're all.
Who the fuck's watching it right now, dude?
I guess you're right.
I love you. Bye.